How will you use your gift of now? How will you use your gift of now? Do we value the time that we have in the present, or does it go to distractions? Or does it go to things that maybe don't serve us for the future that we're looking to create? Remember, y'all, these are all just reminders. These are all just things. Again, she said a lot in there. You can grab something you could pick out of the air and say, "Ooh, that one was for me. That's something I need to be aware of. I need to think about. I need to put in place so that I can change the outcomes that I have." But that value of time is so important. Most of us struggle to manage our time well, or as I learned to correct myself saying, right, because we can't manage time, we manage ourselves within time, right? Some of us struggle to manage ourselves within time. We're all given the same 24 hours in the day. So how well are you, how good are you at managing yourself in that time given? Are you productive? Are you moving your life forward? Do you feel like you're progressing? Or at the end of the night, is it the exact same day that you had the day before? Is it the exact same week that you had before? Is it just the same old things? Or are you challenging yourself, stretching yourself, being present, being present in the moment so that you can be aware of the areas you want to grow, sitting with your mind, sitting with your thoughts? That's being present. Something, if you've never practiced meditation, I highly recommend, right? Practicing meditation. Meditation is just you being able to sit with yourself. It's learning to focus on your breath. It's learning to focus on the small things. When we have 8 million things going on in our brain, some of y'all, right? You sit down to pray and you can't because you got 80,000 things in your brain and, right, you can't slow it down. When you practice meditation, it teaches you how to calm yourself and slow yourself to be present, to just think about your breath, to just focus on that bird chirping, to just focus on the small things. This is how we stay present. This is how one of the ways that you can start to control, manage yourself within the time allotted, because it's important for us to get to our goals and dreams. Some of the things that she said in there, right? Number one, your belief system. You got to have strong beliefs. If you don't believe you can do it, you won't do it. Remember, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. So whether you're just looking and saying like, man, I don't think I can make that happen, you definitely won't make it happen. If you believe and you constantly tell yourself that you can make something happen, your subconscious mind does not know the difference. Doesn't know what you tell it is true or not true. So tell it the things that you want it to do. We control our mind. We control this. So we have to tell it. We have to navigate it. We have to tell it what we want to make happen. Are you telling it more of your fears, or are you telling it your hopes and dreams? Hopefully, we're telling it our hopes and dreams and not our fears, not our worries, not our doubts, because our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. So you got to focus on your belief. You said focus on possibilities. Winning requires focus. Winning requires intentionality. Winning in your life, whether that's in your health, whether that's in your relationship, it requires you to be intentional. It requires you to focus. So if you're trying to improve your marriage, it requires focus. If you're trying to improve your financial life, it's going to require focus. So are you focused on the right things? Are you focused on the possibilities that you have? We talked about this on Friday. Are you focused on opportunities? On opportunities, on what's up ahead? Or do you see every adversity as a real challenge? And it's hard to see that there's an opportunity as the seed of that adversity. Is it hard to see it? That means we have to practice it. We have to do the work to start to see possibilities, see opportunities. One of the things that it said in uh, Rich Dad Poor Dad, right, talks about a statement closes the mind, a question opens the mind. So how much are you asking yourself questions versus making statements? I can't afford that. It's going to take a long time. I don't have the help. I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. Those are statements. If we say those things to ourselves, it closes our mind. Your brain does not have to go to work. You are directing it. You're telling it exactly what to do. You don't have it, so it's going to confirm that you don't have resources. It's going to confirm that you don't have money. You're always going to see that side. But the other side is asking questions. How can I afford that? How could I find the resources? Who do I need in that position? That's how you open your mind. Now your brain has to go to work to try to figure out the answer versus you directing it and telling it the other side. So practice asking yourself more questions. How could I get to that goal? How could our marriage get better? How could I become a better parent? How do I save money more? How do I get into this situation, these resources? How can I? And then your brain will go to work finding out the answer to that. So ask yourself more questions. Don't make as many statements. She said in there, compare yourself to your last 30 days. Compare your current self to your last 30 days. Are you emotionally stronger? Are you spiritually stronger? I know sometimes it's hard to track our progress in some of these things, but do you feel differently? Do you have a different level of fulfillment than the last 30 days? Do you have a different outlook, a different outlook on life, on some of your circumstances, on some of your situations? Have you pulled through a season, pulled through a valley moment? So now you can see the mountaintop, you can see the sun shining a little bit clearer, or are we still in the same place that we were 30 days ago? What have you read? What have you listened to? What information has pulled you to a different level, to get to a higher level of consciousness? Are you aware of those things? Just dropping these in your spirit so you can start to become aware of the things that will allow you to change, that it'll allow you to get to the outcomes that you want in life, right? Lastly, I put on here changing your mental narrative. Changing your mental narrative. What is the narrative in your mind? Who do you think you are? Who do you believe you are? What do you believe you're capable of? More importantly, what attitude are you walking through life in? What attitude are you walking through life with? What attitude? What are your daily emotions? What are you experiencing on a daily basis that is either helping you or hindering you from getting to the life that you want? Because again, the reason we're here is because we got to change our thinking to change our life. We got to change our beliefs. We got to change our habits, our actions, our character. We have to grow. We need the capacity in order to get to that ideal life, to get to the life where we're the highest, grandest expression of ourselves, to get to the life where you don't need a break from it, where you're not constantly like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, we can develop that life. We can get there. But how you get there is important. The attitude you have to get there is important. In 177 mental toughness secrets, it says a world-class attitude leads to world-class happiness. It starts with the attitude. It starts with how you're moving through life. It says here, world-class performers all seem to agree that attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. Our research shows some champions are more focused on attitude than others. While two people might be at the same level of success, the one more focused on attitude reports being happier. While the masses try not to have a bad attitude in their struggle to survive, champions have a positive attitude and always try to improve their mental approach to life. I want you to hear that again, right? Always trying to improve their mental approach to life. What you heard Jessica say in the video, right? Is we got to get into the mental gym. Like, we have to, this is mental training. So are you always trying to improve your mental approach to life? If you do, it puts you in that world-class attitude side of things. It says, while average people view the ideas of attitude as fluff and rah-rah motivation, the world-class sees it as a cornerstone of life. They realize their attitude has an impact on everyone they meet and everything they do, as well as a monumental effect on their level of happiness and fulfillment. At some point, champions realize the self-fulfilling nature of their own mental approach to life and make a decision to talk themselves into the attitude they wish to have. Just going to read that sentence again so we drive that one home. At some point, champions realize the self-fulfilling nature of their own mental approach to life and make a decision to talk themselves into the attitude they wish to have. With this in mind, it would make sense that the higher ups in any organization have better attitudes. In our research, we found this to be true in most cases, yet our research disclosed something I believe is even more profound. The better the attitude towards life, the happier people seem to be. This proves the old idea that we create our own sense of happiness regardless of our station or lot in life. The better the attitude toward life, the happier people seem to be. If you are someone that seeks happiness, you're in a position where you just need a little bit more joy in your life, a little bit more happiness, a little bit more fulfillment, maybe we should check our attitude towards life, because that's a choice. That's a choice. You choose the attitude. The two things we have control over. You've heard me say it many of weeks on this. The two things we have control over: our actions and our attitude. That's it. Those are the only two things you can control in your life. What you actually do, your actions. You are not a robot. No, you're not a puppet. No one's controlling you, right? You control your actions. You move your body. You choose what to eat. You choose to pick up the phone. You have choices every single day of what you are doing, your actions. You have full choice. The other thing, you have full choice of your attitude, of your disposition, of how you choose to move throughout the day. You can choose to succumb to the feelings of worry and anxiety and right all the feelings that maybe we don't want to feel, that are some of our emotional homes, which we feel often. Or you can choose, as it says in here, to talk yourself into what you want to feel. I don't think we often process this seriously, to understand that if you you can talk yourself into feeling good. Oftentimes, our natural conversations with ourselves, our natural self-talk, our natural talk track is not one that is empowering us. It is not one that is promoting a good, healthy faith life, good, healthy mindset, all those things. It's the worry, the doubt, the fears, the scarcity, the things that we consume. That's why what you consume, ladies and gentlemen, is so important. If you're consuming things of the culture, if you're consuming things of the masses, you will have thoughts and feelings of the masses. So if the majority of our country right now is feeling some forms of stress, worry, anxiety, their outlook on the world is, man, things are really getting bad. Man, all these storms, man, the wars, man, the elections, da, da, da. Like, if that's what you consume, that will be your attitude. That will be now how you start to view life. So how do we change that? We're intentional about talking to ourselves in the ways that we need to, in order to get the feelings that we want to feel, the attitudes that we want to feel. So if that means shutting out the outside world, again, I said this probably, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, that you got to be a bit irrational if you want to go design your ideal life. If you want to go off and build a life that you can't even imagine, you don't know anyone else that has it, maybe some movie star, somebody on TV, maybe you think has this life, or some athlete, but like you don't know anyone that has the life you're looking for. Well, you got to start doing some things different. You got to be a bit irrational. You might have to cut off the news, or not watch social media, or not engage in conversations with your coworkers at work. You might have to do that if you're serious about saying, I know I control my actions and my attitude. And for this month, for the rest of this year, I'm working on my attitude. I'm working on having a better attitude. I'm working on, right, filling my mind with better things that are going to allow me to experience the life that I want to experience. World-class attitude leads to world-class happiness. If your attitude is not helping you get closer to the place of joy, fulfillment, happiness, those things, then we have to check our attitude at the door. We got to figure out, where is it coming from? And then we have to do the work necessary to change it. It's work. Nothing that I will tell you is easy. These are simple things. It's a very thin line between being ordinary, average and ordinary, and being great. There's just small little tweaks. It's the millimeters of life. It's not huge swings one side or the other. It's little choices that you make every day. Little things that you are maybe paying attention to, but maybe not paying attention to, that could absolutely change the trajectory of your life. And it could come in little things like what you consume, and how that affects your attitude, and how that affects how you view life. And if we can be intentional about these things, ladies and gentlemen, you can change your life. You can get to the place where you can design the life that you don't need a break from. And that's what we're here to do. This quote here says, I have one word definition of attitude: life. Attitude is the difference maker in life. It's the treasure that lies within you. A positive attitude is the key that jumpstarts your life. Attitude dictates whether you're living a life or life is living you. Attitude determines whether you are on the way or in the way. It's attitude. It's attitude. It's what you choose it. You choose your attitude. It's not whatever happened to you that day. That's the way you feel. It's I choose to be happy. I choose to be grateful. I choose to have joy. I choose to have a positive outlook on life. I choose to look for opportunities. I choose to believe the best in people. I choose to believe that there's a future, that I have a hope. Like I choose those things. Because if you don't choose those things intentionally, the world will let you choose the other side, that there isn't hope, that you don't have opportunities, that you don't have all the resources, that you're not where you want to be, that you don't have certain things. Like you have to choose that other side. That's how we get to the life that we don't need a break from. The action step in the book for today says, do a quick test on a scale of 1 to 7, 7 being best. How good is your attitude towards life? On a scale from 1 to 7, how good is your attitude towards life? Use critical thinking to be honest. If you score less than 7, remember that attitude is a decision and you can upgrade your worldview at any time. Attitude is a perception created in our minds that has little or nothing to do with our circumstances, events, or other people. It's the foundation of all of our habits, actions, and behaviors. Attitude is a perception. It's a belief. It's a mindset. If you change your thinking, you can change your life. Attitude starts with your thinking, and it has little or nothing to do with your circumstances, events, or the people around you. We may blame it on that. We may say, this event put me in this. Because I'm going through this, I feel like this. Because this person did this, this is how now my attitude is. But that's not taking ownership of our life. No one external from you should be able to change what's happening internal. That's your challenge. That's your job. It's to pay attention to how you can fix your attitude so that you can get all the things that you want in life. I love you guys. I want y'all to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. If nobody ever tells you it, I will always tell you that it's the case. It's difficult out here sometimes when you're dealing with the masses, when you're dealing with people that aren't on these calls, aren't growing, aren't developing, aren't wanting to get to the next level. But if that's not you, right? If you're not that person, you're the person that wants to grow, wants to get to the next level, you got to stay intentional about your growth. Every day, one step closer to our goals, one step closer to our dreams, one step closer to the man or woman God called you to be. All right. We'll see you again here on Wednesday, y'all. Take care.